Hey, welcome to another Subculture film review, and today we're taking a look at a movie that I was lucky enough to see last year during Monster Fest, even though it was an interrupted Monster Fest because of all of the COVID stuff that was happening in Melbourne. But this movie that we're talking about today, it's about to come out on Blu-ray, and it was one of my favorite movies of last year. It is called Psycho Goreman. Now, this movie is such a strange film. I guess the best way to put this is if you like something like Stranger Things, then you're probably going to like Psycho Goreman. It's about two kids, Luke, played by Owen Meyer, and Mimi, played by Nita Jose Hanna. And basically, they don't get along as brother and sister. Mimi is all about excitement and wants to do all these brave things. Luke's kind of a little bit more laid back, I guess is the best way to put it. And as a result, he quite often gets teased by Mimi because of the fact that he's just not willing to go along with a lot of the stuff that she's willing to do. Now, one night they accidentally awaken this alien overlord called Psycho Goreman, who physically is played by Matthew Ninneber, but voice-wise is voiced by Stephen Vlahos. Now, Psycho Goreman wants to destroy the world. That's basically what he wants to do. But there's a little clause in the whole semantics of what happens when he gets raised up again, and that is that he has to obey the person that raises him up. Now, that person is Mimi. Now, being a little bit of a brat like she is, she just messes with Psycho Goreman, but she's kind of now got this thing where it's like, well, if Luke does anything that she doesn't really disagree with, that she disagrees with, then she's actually got this alien working for her that can actually kill him. So there is a fairly big thing there that suddenly she's got. Now, this movie, I know it sounds like it is absolutely ridiculous, but having watched this movie, I have to say, this movie kind of conjured up a lot of the thoughts that I had when I was a kid and started to watch things like Terminator. Now, if you're a younger listener of our shows and you want to check out some cult films, then definitely, like we all did that when we were younger. Psycho Goreman's the kind of film that I would love to have watched when I was a kid. There's a little bit of blood and gore in there, but not enough to kind of scare anybody off, really. There's a fair bit of comedy in there as well, but what I think kind of grounds this movie is the fact that the two leads are kids. And I think that kind of takes this film into that kind of special category where it is a horror film as such, and it's a sci-fi, but there's enough elements in there that a younger audience are also going to get something out of this film. Now, I hate this term, but a lot of people are going to say that this is a bit of a B-grade film. I completely hate that term because there are so many B and C grade films out there that people use that description of, but I have absolutely loved over the years. So I guess, and as you've probably heard when we've been doing First on Film and Entertainment, sometimes my other co-hosts like to tease the fact that I like my cult cinema. So I guess that is something to consider when you're going into this film, that, yeah, I love cult cinema, so perhaps I'm a little bit easier on this film than a lot of other people would be, but I thought this film looked amazing. To me, there is no reason why this film can't become a family favorite, like something like Never-Ending Story. The special effects on Psycho Goreman look absolutely fantastic. The comedy that comes through in this film works really, really well, and credit there to the writer-director Steve Kozansky, who's done an absolutely amazing job of allowing this screenplay to work on so many different levels. And of course, as a result, I really think that he is someone that we should be watching in the future. He's already done movies like The Void in the past, which has shown that he's a He's a cult filmmaker that's got some credentials, and I think this is the film. This film, Psycho Goreman, is the film that's really going to show that this is someone who we need to watch in the future, because who knows what this guy could end up creating. The other credit that I also have to give to this film as well is the performances from Nita Jose Hanna and Owen Meyer. They do an absolutely amazing job with this film. A lot of the time, they're carrying this film alongside Matthew Nineveh playing Psycho Goreman. And these kids do an absolutely amazing job. And you're left thinking, wow, these kids have been thrown in boots and all with this film, because they've got to do action sequences, they've got to do stunts, there's horror, there's special effects, and these kids just deliver it like they're in an episode of Neighbours or something like that, where everything's normal around them. So, look, I actually can't recommend this film highly enough. I know this is going to sound absolutely crazy that I'm going to give this movie 4 out of 5, but I really do think that this is a film that a lot of people out there are going to enjoy. I know some people were kind of scared off by the fact that it had child leads, thinking, oh, is it going to be like a lesser movie because it's aimed at kids or aimed at families kind of thing? No, that actually enhances this movie. I think the fact that these two young performers carry the entire film. I love the whole concept of Psycho Goreman. He's an evil villain, but he's a fun villain, so he probably goes into my list of most memorable villains being on screen, because he's just an absolutely fantastic character. Like I said earlier, if you like Stranger Things, check out Psycho Goreman. I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5.